You've arrived at Adventures in Dreamland. Soft, surreal, and slightly cheeky sleep stories with awe and wonder. I'm Serene, your guide tonight. Whether you're here for sleepy science, surreal dreamscapes, or stories that shape who you're becoming, I'm grateful you're here. I write these stories to help you drift and grow. Each night, you're welcomed into a dreamy space from across the world. I'd love to know where you are and what makes your space extra cozy. Running a story cabin in the clouds isn't free. The greatest gift you can give to support my work is sharing our adventures with a friend. Now, we return to what we are. Every living organism on this planet, no matter how small or complex, wants the same thing. Every action we take is for this one thing: to avoid pain and obtain bliss. Bliss is a state of endless joy, mixed with peace beyond our knowing. Whether you call it the soul, awareness, or your highest self, that part of you, during deep sleep, temporarily withdraws from the body and the conscious mind and returns to the freedom and unity with the divine. Bliss without awareness. This restores not just the body and mind, but our spirits too, offering a sense of inner peace and clarity. So yes, sleep is sacred. You are returning back to your natural state. Freedom. Your story begins. The Secret Life of Wasps, Part 1, is episode 88 and part of our Dream Wonders playlist, where we appreciate fascinating facts in our world of wonder. This is the first of a small series. We will be visiting the wasps more than once, because there is more wonder here than one night can hold. One, the wasp on the sweet tea glass. It is dusk on a Texas back porch. Cicadas humming, a half-finished sweet tea on the railing, the porch lamp clicking on by itself. You sit down on the wooden porch step and you breathe out the kind of breath that only old porches can pull out of you. And then, very politely, the world begins to grow. You feel yourself shrinking. Or, no, the porch is getting bigger. The boards beneath you are now wide as runways. The sweet tea glass towers above you like an amber lighthouse. The droplets on its side are the size of beach balls. A single lazy ant strolls past your feet, looking, frankly, much larger than ants are supposed to be. You blink. Okay, either I have somehow ended up at the world's most aggressively themed garden party, or this is happening again, and we are going to learn something fascinating before bed. From the rim of the sweet tea glass, very high above you, a clear, bright, slightly amused voice answers. It is the second one, dear. Come up. You look up. Standing on the rim of the glass, perfectly poised, is a wasp. She is, even at your new size, beautiful, reddish brown all over, the deep rusty color of cinnamon and old leather, slim-waisted, long, elegant legs, smoky black wings folded neatly along her back. Her antennae are perfectly groomed. She is, you realize, looking at you with the calm authority of someone who has things to do. My name is Pearl. I am a red paper wasp, Polistes carolina, if we are being formal. I have lived under the eave of this porch for 2 seasons, and tonight I am here on official business. She gives a small, dignified shake of her wings. I represent the WASP Public Relations Department. We have, as you may have noticed, a serious image problem. People scream when we arrive. They flap, they run, they knock over their own sweet tea. It is, frankly, exhausting. A pause. Pearl tips her head. Tonight, we are going to fix some of that. I am going to introduce you to my family, wasps from Texas, wasps from the deserts of Mexico, wasps from the rainforests of Brazil, and I'm going to tell you the truth about who we are. Some of it is shocking. Some of it is beautiful. A small amount of it involves spiders being filed away alive. We will get to that. But before any of that, one fact, just so you know what you are dealing with. My family invented paper. She gestures with a delicate antenna to the underside of the porch eave above you. There, hanging from a single thread, is a small papery umbrella, a nest of perfect hexagonal cells, soft gray, slightly textured, exquisitely made. That nest is paper, real paper, wood fiber, chewed fine and mixed with my own saliva, then spread into shape. We have been making paper for over 100 million years. The first wasp was building paper nests when Tyrannosaurus rex was still a young idea. We were paper makers before there were flowers. Humans got around to paper about 2,000 years ago in China and acted very pleased with themselves about it. We were polite. We did not say anything. Tonight, you are going to meet the family. Walk with me. 2. The sting. Truth. Briefly. First, Pearl says, let us deal with the elephant on the porch, the stinger. I know. It is the first thing humans think about when they see us. Let me give you the facts so we can move on. She walks you over to a small dry leaf on the porch boards and sits like a teacher at a desk. There is a man named Justin Schmidt, American entomologist. In the 1980s, he decided the world needed a proper ranking of insect stings by pain. So he had himself stung by everything: bees, hornets, wasps, ants. He created the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, which goes from 1 to 4. 4 is the maximum. Only 2 insects on Earth score a 4. 1 is a wasp, 1 is an ant. Both, you will be relieved to hear, live nowhere near this porch. The first one is the tarantula hawk. We will meet her in just a few minutes. She is the headliner tonight. She lives in the deserts of the southwestern United States and northern Mexico. Schmidt described her sting like this: blinding, fierce, shockingly electric. A running hairdryer just dropped into your bubble bath. The good news, if you can call it good news, is that the pain only lasts about 3 minutes. The bad news is that those 3 minutes are described as so completely incapacitating that the recommended advice is, essentially, to lie down and scream. The other 4-rated sting belongs to the bullet ant of Central and South America, Paraponera clavata, found in the rainforests of Nicaragua, Honduras, the Amazon, all the way down to Paraguay. She is called the bullet ant because being stung feels, reportedly, like being shot. Schmidt described her sting like this: pure, intense, brilliant pain, like fire walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. And, unlike the tarantula hawk, the bullet ant's pain does not stop in 3 minutes. It lasts up to 24 hours. So, 3 minutes of electric agony or 24 hours of fire. Those are the worst stings on earth, both very far from your porch. Now, wasps closer to home, yellow jackets, moderate pain, sharp, but they sting in defense of their nest, not on principle. Red wasps, like me, significantly more painful than a yellow jacket because we have a higher dose of venom for our size. We will only sting if you genuinely threaten the nest. Mud daubers almost never sting humans at all. The venom is meant for spiders, not mammals. And here is the part the PR department is most proud of. There is a wasp in Brazil, Polybia paulista, a small, dark social wasp, very common in Sao Paulo. Her venom contains a peptide called Polybia MP1. Right now, in laboratories around the world, scientists are studying this peptide as a possible chemotherapy. It kills cancer cells. It leaves healthy cells alone. A wasp from a Brazilian backyard may help cure cancer. Yes, Pearl says, with quiet satisfaction. We sting, and one of us, possibly, will save your life. Now, let us go meet the tarantula hawk. 3. The hawk that hunts. Tarantulas. The Texas porch begins to fade. Pearl flies up beside you, and the dream lifts gently westward, across hot, dry country, past mesquite and creosote and red rock, until you are standing on a ridge in the Sonoran Desert. Bright, dry, golden light. The air tastes like dust and sage. This, Pearl says, is the home of the tarantula hawk. She lives across the southwestern United States, Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas, Southern California, and down into the Mexican states of Sonora, Chihuahua, all the way through Central America to South America. There are over 300 species of her. The big black and orange one in front of you is Pepsis grossa. She is one of the largest wasps in the world. You see her, and your stomach does a small, respectful drop. She is 2 inches long. Her body is glossy, blue-black. Her wings are the color of fire, bright, burning orange. She lands on the sand in front of you with the calm of a creature who has never in her entire life been afraid of anything. She is a hunter, Pearl says. The largest tarantula in the desert is on her menu tonight. A tarantula 5 times her size, with venomous fangs, with 8 legs, with serious opinions about being bothered. She does not care. You watch as the tarantula hawk walks across the sand to a small hole at the base of a yucca. She taps on the silk threshold with 1 foot. Once. Twice. Inside the burrow, something stirs. Something large. The tarantula, woken from her midday rest, comes up to investigate. What happens next happens fast. The tarantula hawk lunges. The tarantula rears back, fangs out. They tangle, briefly, in a blur of legs and orange wings, and then the hawk gets her stinger in. 1 precise jab into a soft spot in the tarantula's underside. The venom hits the spider's nervous system instantly. The tarantula goes still, not dead, paralyzed, conscious possibly, but unable to move so much as a single leg. Now watch, Pearl says. The hawk does not eat the tarantula. She is not even hungry. She grabs the spider by 1 leg, a spider 5 times her weight, and drags it, slowly and deliberately, across the sand to a burrow she dug earlier in the day. She rolls the tarantula in. She lays 1 single egg on the spider's abdomen. She climbs out. She seals the burrow with sand, and then she flies away. The mother is done. She will never come back. A pause. In about 3 days, the egg hatches. The grub, a small white wasp larva, begins to feed. It eats the tarantula slowly over several weeks. It saves the vital organs for last, so the spider stays alive and fresh as long as possible. Eventually, the larva spins a cocoon inside the now empty spider, and a few months later, a brand new tarantula hawk emerges from the burrow and flies off into the desert to do the whole thing again. This is how every tarantula hawk on Earth was born, Pearl says mildly. Out of a paralyzed tarantula in a sealed burrow in a desert full of yucca and roadrunners. We did not invent this strategy because we are cruel. We invented it because it works. Nature, dear listener, has been running this experiment for at least 60 million years. You look at the empty desert. The sand around the yucca is smooth again, as if nothing happened. And remember, Pearl says, this is the wasp with the running hair dryer in your bubble bath sting. 3 minutes of electric agony, then it is over, and you walk away. No swelling, no tissue damage, no long-term harm. The tarantula hawk is in a strange way the world's most polite top-tier predator. She paralyzes spiders. She does not bother humans. She delivers her sting and lets you go. The tarantula, of course, is having a different night. Pearl flies back up to your shoulder. Come, Texas is calling. There is more to see, and not all of it is so dramatic. Some of it is, frankly, charming. 4. Pearl's family and Faces in the Dark. You are back on the Texas porch. The desert fades. The sweet tea glass returns. The cicadas come back into focus. Pearl flies up to her own nest under the eave. This is us, red paper wasps. Polistes carolina, native to the eastern and southeastern United States, west into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Reddish-brown, slim-waisted, smoky black wings, the standard family uniform. We build open paper umbrellas like this one, hung from a single thread, up to 75 wasps in a colony at peak. All of us are sisters or daughters of the Queen. Important note, we are not yellow jackets. Yellow jackets are Vespula, a totally different genus. Short, chunky, bright, yellow and black, build covered nests in the ground or inside walls, sting in mobs. Different family, different temperament. Please do not lump us in with them. The PR department finds it exhausting. She gestures to the nest with an antenna. My South American cousin is Polistes versicolor, the yellow paper wasp. Slim like me, paper wasp build like me, just yellow and brown instead of red. She is the most widely distributed wasp in all of South America, especially common across southeastern Brazil. If you live in Sao Paulo, you have probably watched her build a nest under your eave. Same family, same paper, different paint job. Also not a yellow jacket. Important. Now, the fact I want you to take to bed tonight. Some of my close cousins, Polistes fuscatus, the northern paper wasp, can recognize each other's individual faces, the way you recognize a friend across a room. Researchers at Cornell University proved it. They photographed the faces of these wasps and showed them to other wasps, and the wasps could pick out specific individuals from a crowd. They have specialized neurons in their tiny brains for face recognition, the same kind of cognitive specialization humans have. They evolved this skill in the last few thousand years, a blink in evolutionary time. A queen returning to her nest after weeks away can remember which sister was a hard worker, which one was lazy, which one tried to challenge her authority. They know each other by sight. There are roughly 5,000 wasp species in the world. We are not all the same. Some of us know names, or whatever the wasp version of names is. A face, a pattern, a friend, a rival. You did not see that coming, did you? 5. The lone mother and the spider. Pantry. Pearl flies you to the underside of the porch beam. There, against the weathered wood, is a row of mud pipes, long gray-brown clay tubes, side by side, like a small church organ. Mud daubers, different branch of the family entirely, solitary, no colony, no queen, no sisters, just one mother doing all of it herself. She built this whole pipe organ alone, ball of mud by ball of mud, a 6-inch tube takes her about 3 hours. A wasp hovers nearby, carrying a tiny pellet of wet mud in her jaws. She is dark, slim, almost an inch long, with long, delicate legs. She is the black and yellow mud dauber, Celephron cementarium, common across all of North America, parts of Mexico, and now in Europe and South America too. She has been hitchhiking on cargo ships for centuries. Her cousin, the blue mud dauber, lives in much of the United States and is metallic blue, like a flying sapphire. Now, what she does for a living. She hunts spiders. She finds a spider on a web, stings it in exactly the right nerve cluster to paralyze it without killing it, and carries it back to her mud pipe. She packs the still living, fully immobile spider into a cell. Then another, up to 25 spiders per cell, depending on the species. She lays one egg on top of the pile. She seals the cell with mud. She moves on to the next cell. She never comes back. 3 weeks later, her larva hatches and finds itself in a sealed mud chamber stocked with 25 fresh, paralyzed, still-breathing spiders. It eats them, slowly, for about a month. Then it pupates, becomes an adult wasp, chews its way out of the mud, and flies off to do the same thing. The blue mud dauber is the specialist. Her favorite prey is the black widow. She lands lightly on the widow's web and plucks the silk threads, gently, deliberately, pretending to be a trapped insect. The widow, who has spent her whole life waiting for the web to vibrate, comes running. The blue mud dauber stings her before she knows what hit her. If you live in Texas and your barn is not full of black widows, thank a blue mud dauber. One last thing about her, because it is genuinely strange. Mud dauber nests have crashed 3 commercial airplanes. The wasps build their mud tubes inside the pitot tubes, the small forward-facing instruments that measure airspeed. The blocked sensors give false readings. In 1996, a Boeing 757 leaving the Dominican Republic crashed into the Atlantic with 189 people on board, and one of the leading suspected causes was a mud dauber nest in the pitot tube. The plane had been parked on the tarmac for 25 days with the sensors uncovered. That is all the time a mud dauber needs. Quietest wasps on the porch, quietest wasps in the sky. Both true. 6. The wasp the Brazilian children are taught to fear. One more cousin tonight, Pearl says, and we are going far south. The dream tilts again. The Texas porch fades. You are now in a forest in southeastern Brazil. High humidity, tall canopy, the air full of bird calls you have never heard before. The leaves are the size of dinner plates. Everything is green and warm and slightly damp. This is the home of Sinuca cyanea, native to Brazil and Argentina. The Brazilian common name is marimbondo tatu, armadillo wasp, because of the armored look of her nest. Rural children in Brazil and Argentina learn her name early. She is one of the most feared social wasps in South America. Pearl points up. Hanging from a thick branch is a nest unlike any you have seen tonight. Not an open umbrella like Pearl's, not a buried colony like a yellow jacket's. This nest is a flat shield of paper pressed directly against the bark, ridged like an armadillo's back, dark and tough. She is glossy blue-black, almost an inch long. She is a swarm-founding wasp, meaning when a new colony starts, dozens of queens and hundreds of workers leave the old nest at the same time and build the next one as a coordinated team. No single founder, no starting from scratch. They arrive already organized. She has a defensive habit that is genuinely unnerving. When something approaches her nest, the entire colony begins to drum their wings against the paper in unison, a slow, rising, thumping warning that you can hear from several meters away. Pum, pum, pum. It gets faster, louder. It is a countdown. If you do not leave, the swarm comes. Her venom is strong enough to cause serious medical reactions. People in rural Brazil who disturb her nest by accident can end up in the hospital. She is not aggressive without reason. She gives the warning, but she means the warning. And here is the part the PR department wants you to know. She is also one of the most studied wasps in South American science. Her swarm coordination, her drumming behavior, her colony architecture. Researchers from Sao Paulo to Buenos Aires have spent decades trying to understand how thousands of wasps make collective decisions without a single leader. She is feared, yes. She is also, by any honest measure, a genius. 7. Good night from the porch. The Brazilian forest fades. The Texas porch returns. You feel yourself growing back to your full size, gently, like a balloon being filled with warm air. You are sitting on the porch step again. The sweet tea glass is just a glass. The cicadas are still singing. The lamp is still on. Pearl is back on her nest above you, small and ordinary again. Just a wasp under an eave on a Texas evening. Tonight you met 4 of us, she says. A red paper wasp from Texas, a hawk that hunts tarantulas in the Sonoran desert, a solitary spider collector who builds with mud, a drumming swarm wasp from the Brazilian forest. There are 5,000 more wasp species in the world. We have only just started. There is more. Wasps that hunt at night, with eyes built for moonlight. Wasps that pollinate every fig you have ever eaten. Wasps that turn cockroaches into living puppets. We will get to them. There is a part 2. For now, sleep well, dear listener. The cicadas will keep singing. The mud daubers are done for the day. The yellow jackets are tucked into their hidden nests. Somewhere in Brazil, a marimbondo colony is settling onto her armored shield for the night. Somewhere in the desert, a tarantula hawk is asleep on a yucca leaf. The whole wasp family is going quiet, all at once, the way the world does at the end of a long, warm day. You feel yourself drifting. The porch fades. The sweet tea fades. The wasp on the eave fades. You sink gently into your own warm bed. your own soft pillow, your own quiet breath. You are held. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Sweet dreams.